increased by around 33% year-on-year in 2023, with expectations to surpass the pre-pandemic levels of 700,000 visitors recorded in 2019 in a calendar year 2024. Let's get a move on and our top focus on the right stand this Friday edition. A 1971 deja vu in Bangladesh is witnessed where Hindus were forced to flee a war-torn neighborhood. Hindus are being hounded again after Sheikh Hasina's ouster. BJP is hit out at the Congress over their stunning silence on the matter and asked, while they shed tears for Gaza, why do they choose to remain silent on the Hindumisia that's on display in Bangladesh? Our second focus, the Waqf Amendment Bill, which was sent to the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Thursday. Who's on the panel? We'll find out later on the show. And will this lead to a consensus or will there be more confrontation? Also, the Karnataka government is reeling under severe scams, facing more heat now, and this time from MBBS students from the OBC community. Why? We'll tell you later on the right stand. And how the indexation tweak benefits you, we'll find that out too. But first up, with the support of the Pakistani military, non-Bengali Muslims are systematically attacking poor people's quarters and murdering Bengalis and Hindus. This is a quote. This was one of the several telegrams sent by American consul in Dhaka, Arch of Blood, on the 27th of March 1971, desperately seeking intervention from the US president. In the background was the mayhem and genocide by the Pakistani army along with the Razakars and the militia along East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. The US Consul General's missives to the American brass were met with a silence from President Richard Nixon and his National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger. They were engaged in a nasty game to win over China and turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to the desperate pleas for help coming from their own officials stationed in Dhaka and the pogrom that was witnessed in Bangladesh. It's a similar situation now in Bangladesh, ladies and gentlemen. Many are saying the same, especially from Bangladesh. This is a report that we're getting. A new interim government that's taken oath amidst the Islamist pogrom that was witnessed over the last 72 hours against minorities, largely Hindus. The lone Hindu appointee in the interim government in Bangladesh, Dr. Bidhan Ranjan Roy, didn't go for the oath ceremony on Thursday. Sources from Dhaka say that he deliberately avoided it as he was not happy with the way Hindus were being targeted. Meanwhile, the BJP questioning the Congress and the opposition's stunning silence, alleging that they shed tears for Palestine, lampoon Israel, but show contempt for the Hindu plight in Bangladesh and that Hindumisia is their auto impulse. Listen in before we get into the face-off here in our studios.
मैं आपका आभारी हूं क्योंकि जो हमारे पड़ोसी मुल्क बांग्लादेश में हाल ही में घटा उसको लेकर हम सब लोग चिंतित भी हैं और सभी राजनीतिक दलों ने एक स्वर में बात भी कही कि वहाँ पर जो अपने लोग हैं उनकी भी चिंता की जाए। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी ट्वीट करके जो इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट के प्रधानमंत्री हैं उनको बधाई भी दी, लेकिन ये भी कहा कि हमारे जो वहाँ पर हिंदू और अल्पसंख्यक हैं उनकी शांति, सुरक्षा और विकास सबको सुनिश्चित किया जाए। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य ये है सर कि नेता प्रतिपक्ष और कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष ने ट्वीट जब किया या उनको बधाई जब दी तो हिंदुओं की वहां पर सुरक्षा की कोई बातचीत नहीं की, ना ही उसका उल्लेख किया, ना ही अल्पसंख्यकों की सुरक्षा की बात की। ऐसी कौन सी मजबूरी थी कि ये लोग वहां पर हिंदुओं और अल्पसंख्यकों की सुरक्षा की बात भी नहीं कर सके?
Bangladesh has a number of people who are also opposed to violence against Hindus. There have been good incidents of cases in which temples have been guarded by Muslims, including civilians as well as police and others. I'm certainly hopeful that we will be in a position to see calming down and settling of the situation and safeguarding of minorities. That is a very, very major concern for India.
The BJP and the INDI alliance in the studios here at Right Stand. Pradeep Bhandari and Vivek Srivastava, Namaste and Jai Hind. How many tweets have you put out, sir?
Do you think tweets change the country? And how many people read tweets in this nation of 140 crores?
इसको जरा record कर लिया जाए and let's hold it for posterity just in case tomorrow something happens in Israel and something, and then Mr. Vivek Srivastava says social media is the platform to express, because that's where the truth is being spoken to power.
Not at all. All I'm trying to say is that it should not be a Twitter-based kind of a controversy as to who stated whom. and the man who raised it in the parliament, Mr. Anurag Thakur, we all know what he said, goli maro, ... just in case
he
you
said
remember.
देश के गद्दारों को
वो
ना उसको आप एडिट मत करो, उसको आप एडिट, देश के गद्दारों को, but that's not the issue.
So let's not work out on it. See, first of all, BJP, I believe, and the Sangh Parivar somehow is taking Bangladesh as an opportunity again to further its Islamophobic agenda, to show the Muslims in a bad spot, show that they are so much anti-Hindu, show that look, if they become too much in the population, what is going to happen in India. So, they are trying to play politics over death. This is what I feel. Yes, ISKCON temple was attacked in Bangladesh. We saw it, we heard it. Some Hindu houses were also attacked. But there is another part of the story also. Students came out and stood to protect the temples. Mr. Yunus, when he took over as the interim government head, he said the first thing is that you have to stop the violence and stop attacking the houses of the minorities. Thirdly, you also have to understand that majority supporters of the Awami League party, which is no longer in power, was the Hindu community. And I would also like to say that our Honorable Prime Minister should not have encouraged Sheikh Hasina to come over here at the Ghaziabad.
You twist the narrative, you are economical with facts, and you brush aside the brazen truth under the carpet with a straight face, Vivek Srivastava. I have to guarantee you that. Sir, Hindus were targeted, their homes were burnt. And you're saying, yeah, some Hindus were targeted. 29 out of the 64 districts witnessed this kind of violence, and you're saying some of them happened. Yes. Okay, one person, one of the Nobel laureate takes power and says, don't do it anymore. Let's not do it anymore. And you feel that is all right. That's enough. That is enough. Look at the number of tweets that have come out against Israel for what their action is against the Hamas. It's not even against the Palestinians. It's the Hamas. It's the same group of people who watched Israeli women being paraded naked and being tormented on the streets of Gaza, and they kept quiet. At that time, nobody showed outrage. Here, and you're talking about Islamophobia. This is the Hindumisia of the opposition, because you yourself are saying, इस पर ट्वीट करके क्या मिलेगा? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying it.
No.
Because there is. Asked me about the tweet, so I answered it.
Are there not members of the CPI or other members of the INDI alliance, Pradeep Bhandari, who tweeted about Israel, who brazenly went against Israel? How many of them have tweeted? Have you done? How many of them have spoken about what's happening in Bangladesh?
No, I'll just intervene for 5 seconds. Do you know that 4 times the number of Hindus killed are the number of Muslims who have been killed? 4 गुना ज्यादा मुसलमान मारे गए हैं सर बांग्लादेश के अंदर. So let us not play politics over religion.
अच्छा, तो वो 4 गुना ज्यादा मारे गए, तो इसीलिए इनका ये जो
justified नहीं है, लेकिन
तो इनका मरना जायज है.
No, बिल्कुल नहीं.
If they have been singled out and
it should not be shown that the Muslims are targeting the Hindus. That is not the story.
So I was listening to Vivek ji, and I think we cannot expect anything better from the representative of the left parties, because in their manifesto they wanted to disarm the country. They were against nuclear weapons. So whenever it comes about larger national interests, whether it is the Aam Aadmi Party, whether it is the Congress Party or the left, they've never stood with it. Now let me take the logic and the argument of Vivek Srivastava forward, that Twitter is not a place to express. So my question is, why did Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on 13 November 2023, 27th October 2023, 18th October 2023, 28th October 2023, 11 December 2023, 26 July 2024, 22nd February 2024, 9 January 2024 tweeted about the plight of Gaza? So my question is that if you speak about minoritism, Congress Party in its manifesto spoke about freedom of minorities. Rahul Gandhi speaks about minorities, says that I am also a Hindu in the parliament. How can a normal human being who believes in basic human dignity not express concern or not feel empathetic about what is happening with the Hindus in Bangladesh for being Hindus? It is the Prime Minister of the country tweeted about it. The Prime Minister has clearly expressed that the protection of the Hindus is must. My question is, Rahul Gandhi tweets at 10:55 p.m. He does a normal tweet where says that peace and prosperity should prevail. Why is the Congress Party, which speaks about minoritism, has a jaundiced view where in that minoritism the Hindu rights, Hindu life does not matter?
Yes.
That is my question. And if that is true, then it is against the tenet of the secularism, right? Secularism demands equality of all religions, standing for individuals when they're targeted for being religious.
Yes.
So why are you not standing for the Hindus when they're targeted for being Hindus in Bangladesh? My simple question.
Very good question. I want to know now, since we are fighting over Twitter, when did the Prime Minister tweet for Manipur? Tell me the date and time.
The Prime Minister spoke about it in the Parliament. The Prime Minister spoke about it in the Parliament, and the Home Minister has also spoken about it. Let's not from the fact.
Let's not shift the goalpost.
No. Hold on.
Don't shift. Don't shift.
He's shifting the goalpost. My question is, what prevents you from speaking about the Hindus who are minority in Bangladesh?
When the court intervened
My
and
question
asked the
is-
government
no.
to make a statement,
See,
it was after 2 months that the Prime Minister
Anand,
went and gave a
Manipur,
statement.
No,
Fine.
one
So let's
minute,
not
one
go to
minute. Gentlemen, one minute. No.
I am
It's
asking
not
you
about
what
that.
prevents-
What I'm trying to tell you is,
Yes.
the Prime Minister, whatever Manipur is an internal issue within Bharat. It was an ethnic fight between two
So let
Bharatiya
people
groups.
die.
No,
It doesn't
Bharatiya
matter.
group, two Bharatiya groups.
Christian lives don't matter.
1 minute.
Here's the Prime Minister
No, sir.
on
Cookies,
Manipur.
Christian-
Here's the
He's
He's
shifting
shifting the goalpost.
One minute.
He's shifting.
Don't
This is
play.
the Prime
Now you
Minister
are playing the bad
I'm
game, sir.
playing Twitter.
No.
Here's the Prime Minister speaking about Manipur. When will you speak about
Give me
Hindus
the
in
date and time.
Bangladesh?
Give me the date and
When
time.
will
Not
the
just
Hindus
that,
will
not
speak
just that.
out?
Vivek Srivastava.
July 4th,
Sorry.
2024.
One aspect, sir. One aspect, sir. You just now said something where you openly, brazenly said that the cookies are the victims and the Meiteis are not. Okay.
I didn't say
No. You just said that.
said
What-
that.
Yeah. You know what you said? You said cookies are Christians, so their lives don't matter. So Meiteis are
Yes.
Hindus, so their women and their lives don't matter.
No, they do matter.
Why didn't you take them?
No, because
No. Why didn't you
Anand,
take them?
because
If you are
that's
branding,
because-
if you are branding all
Anand,
cookies,
Anand,
and
just
1 minute. One second. First up, sir. On Manipur, let me confirm.
Yes.
And are all
11th
cookies?
August tweet.
No. Are all
11th
cookies?
August.
Are all
11th
cookies Christians?
No, maybe not.
No. 1 minute.
Majority
Are
are of Naga origin and majority are
correct.
Christians. Number one.
So do you know before that video that went viral and for which the opposition is causing a huge furore, there is an equally abhorrent video where Meitei women were brought out. That has one opposition leader has spoken about it.
No, everybody's.
Has one opposition leader spoken about it?
See,
Right
the
now,
government-
right now,
the
what did you
government-
speak?
the
You
government-
spoke
no,
about
let me
cookies
counter.
are Christians.
Let me
So
counter.
Meiteis
Let me
being
counter.
Hindus are okay if they
Absolutely
are
not.
plundered and they are
Absolutely
killed.
not.
On the day of
Absolutely
elections,
not.
cookies attack
Absolutely not.
Meiteis.
But in this
Vivek,
case,
why did you
speak
speak
about
live
it?
on the debate?
No, hold on,
One
sir.
second. No, I want to
Hold on,
fact
hold
check.
on,
You said
hold
the
on.
Prime Minister did not tweet about it. Here's the tweet, 11th August 2023.
कितने
about
दिनों के
this.
बाद? कितने
11th
दिनों के
August
बाद?
2023,
Sir, कितने
July
दिनों के
2024.
बाद?
You ask me.
दंगे
you
कब
answer
हुए
me.
थे?
Why are you
दंगे
not
कब हुए
speaking
थे,
about the
sir?
Hindus in Bangladesh?
No. I'm
What
speaking-
prevents you? Does your logic and definition of minoritism does not apply to the Hindu
I-
minority in Bangladesh?
I
Please answer me that
am
question. Are
equally-
Hindus not minority in Bangladesh?
Absolutely. No, let me speak.
See,
we are the opposition, the India Alliance, all the parties, all the people, all sane-minded human beings in this nation are equally bothered about the Hindus who are being killed in Bangladesh. There is absolutely no question about it. However, our objection is that the BJP is trying to take up those issues selectively, present it that look so bad, the Muslims are so bad. देखो बांग्लादेश को मुसलमान कितने खराब हैं, हिंदुओं के साथ क्या हो गया, यही तुम्हारे साथ होगा जब मुसलमानों की आबादी बढ़ जाएगी. That is our problem. That is our problem. That is your agenda. That is your agenda.
Who said that in the BJP?
Who
said
has
that
said
in the
that?
BJP?
Okay.
Who has
The Prime Minister said that?
Answer me that. Name the
Okay,
person.
one minute.
If you say,
Okay, one
if you say,
minute.
stop saying,
Vivek.
let's
One
stop
second,
saying.
1 second, Vivek Srivastava. I just want to ask, one of the aspects, sir, who was it on this show, on this dialogue, when we are having this conversation, said cookies are Christians, so their lives are dispensable, but they totally forgot the kind of treatment and what's happened to the Meiteis in a two-way ethnic clash in Manipur, which is not a recent phenomenon, is happening for ages. Okay, so that's the first thought, where the charge on the opposition is that you have Hindumisia by default. That's your first auto reflex, that let's just blank out the Hindus, and if they are having, let's not talk about it. So the charge, one minute, the charge against the opposition is that you overtly bat for the Muslims and you try and join issue across countries as long as it's a Muslim issue, because you are batting openly, brazenly saying our job is Muslim appeasement. No. The charge against the BJP Pradeep Bhandari is that if they are openly doing Muslim appeasement, you are brazenly, openly doing Hindu appeasement. Because the Hindus did not vote for you in this election, so you are trying to course correct and say, all right, let's get back and apna line theek kar dete. Pradeep Bhandari responds.
Anand ji, I am extremely shocked. My question is that if Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and the entire India Alliance is tweeting and expressing concern at relevant platforms about Gaza, what prevents them from speaking about the Hindu minority in Bangladesh? Point number one, because the Congress has been speaking about minoritism. In its manifesto, it was minoritism. Point number two, what do you expect the BJP and the Prime Minister to do? The Hindus in Bangladesh are targeted for being Hindus. The Prime Minister has expressed concern. We are not the Congress party which will look the other way when there is inhumanity happening, and when there is when in Bangladesh you are finding a situation where the Hindu brothers and sisters are targeted for being Hindus. My question is, what is secularism? Equality of all faith, standing for all the religions whenever there is injustice. This is just not about injustice. It is about human dignity. It is about right to life. So my question is, what prevents Vivek Srivastava and the India Alliance from expressing concern about what is happening against the Hindus in Bangladesh? Durga Mandir has been vandalized. And point number 2, you fact checked on the debate. You lied on the debate that the Prime Minister did not tweet about it. I showed you the tweet on Manipur, 11th August 2023. He spoke in the Parliament in 2024 also.
He spoke after the court reprimanded him.
23rd, 24th. So do not lie on the debate that the Prime Minister did not tweet. The Prime Minister spoke in the Parliament. The Prime Minister tweeted about it. When will you all stand with the Hindus is my question. Rahul Gandhi says that he is a Hindu. What about the Hindus in Bangladesh? And this is why you oppose CAA.
Rhetorics don't work.
I am speaking facts.
Rhetorics don't work.
I am speaking facts.
Melodramatism won't work. Let's talk facts.
You're not answering the specific
question. When the court reprimanded the government of India for not taking a stand on Manipur, the Honorable Prime Minister of India was forced to speak then in the Parliament. First fact.
Then in the
first fact. Now let's forget about Manipur.
He spoke about Manipur before that.
Sir, no, he did not.
He did.
Now let's come to the point
one second. It was nearly 2 months, if not more.
Yes.
And it was outside the Parliament that the Prime Minister broke his silence on Manipur.
Absolutely.
Right. So the Prime Minister also took his time to speak on Manipur. So the opposition's charge when it say, but the issue right now,
the Prime Minister stayed there in Manipur for
all of that.
But he's not. He's shifting the
No. Here is the charge. Here is the charge by the opposition. The charge by the opposition is that within 72 hours of what's happened in Bangladesh, the Prime Minister has raised concern about the Hindus in Bangladesh. But for 60 days plus, about what happened in Manipur, the Prime Minister did not tweet or openly speak about what's happening in Manipur. So this is the comparison that the opposition is making. So let's register that first. To the opposition, the issue is you jumped on Manipur, you jumped on Israel, but you hid under the table when it came to Bangladesh. So that's the point.
Let me counter. First of all, as I have told you, it is a problem in a neighboring country. Hindus and Muslims both have been killed. Ahmadiyya mosques have been vandalized, 12 of them. Shia mosques have also been vandalized. Let me add to the story, which I do not know if Mr. Bhandari is aware of it or not. Therefore, all of this needs to be criticized. However, looking at it from only exclusively a Hindu angle is not the right way. We are concerned about human life, and secularism is what you wanted to know. Human life.
27 districts, the Hindus have been
attacked. Don't say Hindus. 4 times that number Muslims have been killed.
See, my question is,
you are not bothered about Muslim lives?
My question is, we are bothered about all the lives, but for you the Hindu lives do not matter.
No, they do.
No. So then you tell us that
we are not differentiating. You want to differentiate.
If Bangladesh is an external issue, what is Gaza?
From your own point of view, and what you just said now, what's brazenly on display is sectarianism, bigotry by a certain sect of Muslims against those who are non-sect and also non-faith.
Not totally.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Not totally. This is one part of it. And we talked to some journalists from Bangladesh also. I wasn't on shows with them. I talked to them. They said the Hindu community, majority of it supported the Awami League party overall since 1971. So when they started targeting the workers of the Awami League party, the Hindus had to bear the brunt first because majority of them were a part of the particular party.
Hindus are only 8%. The Awami
Hindus
League steamrolled the elections. The Awami League steamrolled the elections.
Don't try. No, it has dipped from 13% to
it has dipped to
8%. No, don't go to 1951. वो समझिए 1974 में कितना था?
The Hindu population
are 8%.
How much?
Has it dipped
from 13% to 8%? Don't go to 51. I'll go to the point.
No, Vivek Srivastava.
He never can speak about the Hindu rights.
Hindus are 8%. Hindus are 8% in Bangladesh.
Yes.
That 8% is the backbone of the Awami League, which steamrolled the elections recently. No, and you're saying they are being plundered. And no, secondly, what are you trying to say? that if this is all right, this is par for course, this kind of political violence and brazen
Absolutely
hanging
not.
them,
Absolutely
beating
not.
them.
What?
So
Absolutely
exactly.
not.
From a man who backs
No,
Rohingyas,
Jamaat-e-Islami
he has
is-
his
Arey, sir,
parties
hold on,
back
hold on.
Rohingyas.
Jamaat-e-Islami.
It's the same.
I'll give you a fact.
It's the
Hold on,
same.
hold on.
It's the same
You
thing.
have Jamaat-e-Islami,
Which the
there
left
was a
took
huge-
exception to.
No.
The left took exception to a similar behavior on the streets of Bengal. Right? On the streets of
Absolutely,
Bengal, you took
after
exception
the
to
No, no,
something
no,
like
we
this.
are
And
against
now
it.
are
We
you
are
trying
supporting
to
violence.
justify this by
Absolutely
saying,
not.
oh, they were Awami
Absolutely
League
not.
supporters, so that's why they got culled.
No, sir.
That's why they got
I'll tell
that
you
they
two
got
things.
brutalized.
First fear, sir, listen to me first. मैं बोलूंगा 10 सेकंड फिर आप बोलो.
Please.
पहली चीज, there was a great fear factor. Jamaat-e-Islami is coming into power. Jamaat-e-Islami is going to take over Bangladesh. This is going to be the next government, totally a fanatic Muslim government. Hindus are going to be wiped out from Bangladesh. और इंडिया में भी यही हो जाएगा एक दिन. Hold on.
Kौन?
The debates in this nation.
You can't peddle a narrative without quoting
सुन
a
लीजिए
source.
सर,
Who said it?
सुन लीजिए पहले
आप मुझे
सर,
बताइए
सर
किसने
सुनिए
कहा?
ना, जमाते इस्लामी तो आप लोगों ने
नहीं,
बोला,
आपने बोला,
बीजेपी
किसने बोला
के
ये?
बीजेपी के हर स्पोक्स पर्सन ने
कौन?
जमाते इस्लामी
कौन?
बोला.
नहीं,
सुनिए आप पहले.
किसने बोला
नहीं, आप
कि
सुनिए,
जमात ये हो जाएगा?
सुनिए.
No. You
अरे
can't
आप-
misquote my
अरे
party.
भाई, मेरे बात
No, you
को
can't
सुनो.
misquote my party.
No,
You are making a conclusion. Please
Is
tell me who
Jamaat
said it.
Islami is Jamaat
You
Islami
do
a
not
challenge
deviate.
for you in Bangladesh or not?
You please answer me.
You answer me. Is
No,
Jamaat
you are-
Islami a
see the
challenge
point,
for you or
what is
not?
happening? What is happening?
Is
Anand,
Jamaat
he is
Islami a
moving-
challenge for you in
see, he is
Bangladesh or
moving-
not?
He's not able to
you're not able to say-
You're saying Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh is not a
Now
challenge
I'll
for
tell
you.
you. Now I'll tell you.
For-
I'll tell
it's
you.
not a
I'll
challenge
tell
for
you.
anybody.
See,
The vote base, sir,
This
hold
is
on,
not a
sir.
challenge for you.
बोलने तो दो
He
यार.
shifted.
The vote base of Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh is only 4%. Are you aware of it, Mr. Bhandari?
I am extremely
You are not
aware
aware
about
of
it.
it.
You are
Because
not
your
answering
party.
the question. Why are you not standing with Hindus? If it's a political debate, we can
Sir,
do it. It's
sir,
about the
sir,
dignity,
sir, hold on,
life
hold
of
on,
Hindus
hold on,
who've
hold
been
on,
declared
hold
in
on.
27
Just 30
districts.
seconds.
Because-
who spoke
Okay, let him
openly
speak.
about
Let him speak.
We
Let him
feel
speak.
we are not against. We don't want Hindus being killed or Muslims being killed or whatever.
Whatever.
However, listen to me first. We don't want the Sangh Parivar, the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this government to use the killings of the Hindus in Bangladesh to showcase it, the Muslims of this nation in a bad way, and create a
but
fear
that's
psychosis
it. That's it.
कि आपके साथ भी ये होगा.
That's
said
it.
it?
No,
What
wait.
you are trying to do?
Hang
What you are trying to
on.
do?
Just one second.
How can you make that conclusion?
Just two questions I want to ask you. One is, sir, show me one RSS Neta or
Absolutely,
one
yes.
BJP leader or mantri who has said that the Jamaat-e-Islami and this is what they are coming out to go ahead and cull Hindus and Hindus will be wiped out of Bangladesh and that's the agenda. If they have come out and said it or have posted
not able
it. No,
to
show me
quote
one.
a single fact.
Secondly, sir, are you trying to say when you say that the BJP and the RSS is trying to show the Muslims of Bharat that the Hindus will come and do the same to you?
No, not the Hindus who do the same. I said you are creating
Who
a fear
said it?
psychosis
Who said
about
it?
the
How?
Muslims.
How?
You are showing the
How?
Muslims as a violent
How?
lot.
Which
Whether
statement?
in Pakistan
Which
or in
statement?
Bangladesh,
Which statement?
हिंदू तो मारे ही
Which
जाते
statement?
हैं.
किसने बोला?
हिंदू देख आप
नहीं, आप मन से
सर
नहीं बोल सकते
आपका
ना.
नैरेटिव है क्या सर?
नहीं.
आपका नैरेटिव
See,
क्या है
Anand,
बता
he
देता
already
हूं.
said that.
Okay, we've got news coming through 1 minute.
Anand, he is not able to- he's lying in the debate.
You are trying to fix a particular narrative while you yourself are not able to justify your silence on the aspect.
we are
No,
not
no,
silent.
no, nobody
We
is
are not silent.
No, one minute.
We are not silent.
You just said something
Yes.
today. I'm asking you, which Congress leader, which India Alliance leader has come out and said that Shia mosques have been vandalized, Ahmadiyya mosques have been destroyed, and Hindus have also been attacked? Which India Alliance leader has come out and said what you said? They have not. Why? Because it is not convenient for them to show that there is sectarianism between Muslims in Bangladesh.
Absolutely not.
And this is a sectarian fight that is manifest on the streets,
It is-
along with a
it is-
brazen, bigoted
because
attitude towards
because of the lack of government, because of the lack of government, it was a free for all in
So it doesn't
Bangladesh.
suit your narrative.
It was
When I
a
say
free
your
for all
narrative,
in Bangladesh.
it does not
That is the
suit.
truth.
It does not suit the opposition's narrative
Anand.
because you will have to take on certain sections of Muslims and call them out. You will have to call the Sunnis and the non-Shia,
No,
non-Ahmadiyya
absolutely
who are
not.
targeting
It
them.
was not
There's a
because there
specific
was an
sect in
animosity.
Bangladesh who are responsible for
Vivek
this.
is being
Anyway.
Anand, just saying. I want to read the tweet of the Prime Minister. Please tell me, how is it spreading fear among the Muslims? My best wishes to Professor Muhammad Yunus on the assumptions of his new responsibilities. We hope for an early return to normalcy, ensuring the safety and protection of Hindus and all the minority communities. India remains committed to working with Bangladesh to fulfill the shared aspiration of both our people for peace, security and development. Please tell me, how are Muslims under threat because of
All right,
this?
we've just got
Please.
news coming through. The government sources are telling CNN News 18 that Sheikh Hasina is going to stay in Bharat for a longer period. Sheikh Hasina's stay is in accordance with the visa laws and Bharat doesn't have any refugee or asylum laws. Bharat hopes to have good ties with the new Bangladesh government. But here is the thing, Sheikh Hasina will not be forced to leave urgently, but she's also been told that she's welcome in Bharat for the moment, ladies and gentlemen. That's where it is. Bharat is very clearly saying that so far she's not been able to figure out, and she's going to take some more time to stay on in Bharat. It's not that Bharat is officially giving her asylum or shelter. That's not the policy. We don't have that. But yes, she's going to take some more time, and her stay in Bharat is going to be a little more longer. Let's get a move on here on the right stand, and to get another tenuous issue, ladies and gentlemen. Massive showdown in Parliament on Thursday. The House approved Minority Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju's proposal of sending the Waqf Amendment Bill into the JPC, the next phase of the legislative review. Now, Minority Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has proposed the formation of this JPC and the construct of it to scrutinize the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024. Jagdambika Pal, Nishikant Dubey, Tejaswi Surya, Aparajita Sarangi from the BJP, Imran Masood from the Congress, Kalyan Banerjee from the Trinamool, Asaduddin Owaisi from the AIMIM, Andimuttu Raja from DMK are among the 21 Lok Sabha MPs on the Waqf Bill panel. Now, we've also shown here on CNN News 18 instances of blatant misuse and abuse of this entire Waqf property, the laws, and also the money donated for charitable purposes in the name of betterment and upliftment of Muslims. And that is why ample regulatory mechanisms backed by legal amendments is perhaps the need of the hour. That's the voice coming in from the community also. Will this new panel formed lead to a consensus, or will there be more confrontation on this much needed reform on the Waqf land? One of the examples, and I'm going to quote Shazia Almi as we go back to Vivek and Pradeep here. She said, 8,72,000 plus properties, more than 9 lakh acres of land. The estimated value of rent collection that can be done is 1.2 lakh crore rupees. If this money was collected properly, do you think Muslims will be the kind of backwardness that they are facing, and in fact have need for social upliftment that they are facing? So has the Waqf actually done good to the Muslim community in Bharat at all by the way it's currently managing its affairs? So does that itself not require reform and immediate attention? Vivek Srivastava. See,
it's very easy to point out any organization which is basically from the behind being controlled by the government. It's very easy. Can Delhi police be reformed? It's a very simple question. Can Noida police be reformed? Can the member parliaments of this country be reformed? Can the MLAs of this country be reformed? Can the councils be reformed? The list is endless. So, I mean, if you start going into the efficiency of the various departments working, the DDA and the MCD of the Delhi, and your channel covered when the 3 students died in Rajendra Nagar in the national capital because of flooding. So let's not first of all try to start evaluating Waqf board because of the inefficiency and start attacking it. Let's go into the constitution and the basic ideology because of which the Waqf board was made. The Waqf board was made, and it was not a popular mood at the time of the Muslim member parliaments and the intelligentsia to have the Waqf board function in this country, because Waqf board had government interference, government nominees to control the Waqf. And what is Waqf? Waqf is basically the Urdu or the Persian, I'm not sure which language it is, translation for the word donation. So if Anand, you are a practicing Muslim and you want to donate your property and your money for the cause of your own religion or the betterment of your own society, you give it via the Waqf board. And the Waqf board was made so that proper government interference and control remains into this huge amount of land and money which is going to be donated across the nation in this country. And when there are disputes, the tribunal is set up. Again, there are government, उसमें judge भी बैठता है, उसमें आपका government का नुमाइंदा भी बैठता है. So it is not a free for all as is being shown by the government today. Yes, there have been discrepancies. There have been cases of corruption. Lot of land of the Waqf board, many a times we see that the local politicians and the bigwigs, they try to capture it out. There are problems, no doubt about it. However, just whitewashing it out at the end of the day, that is not the right solution. This bill is basic. I mean, there are so many. I mean, if I start speaking, there are people who have, there are business houses who have their factories and houses on Waqf board land. There are politicians who have made some properties and they are on Waqf board land. Now, when notices are being sent, people are being disturbed. So, I mean, I don't want to go into any individual case. But however, you need to look at it from a very different perspective. The JPC is a welcome move. Let everybody sit down, talk it out and reform wherever the reforms are needed. And I am not saying that reforms are not needed. The reforms are needed. But trying to say कि वक्फ बोर्ड का मतलब साहब चोरी हो गया पैसे की, this is also the wrong narrative. I'm very clear about it.
Anand, we are getting the Waqf to what the initial objective and the intent of the 1954 Act was. The intent and the objective of the 1954 Act was that any property for religious or pious purpose a Muslim wants to donate, the Muslim can donate. If you go back, the first history of the Waqf is during the time of the Delhi Sultanate, where a Muslim man had donated property to Jama Masjid of Multan, 2 villages to Jama Masjid of Multan. What we are amending and changing is the abuse of power which the Congress party in 2013 had brought, where it changed the original intent of the Waqf land, which was meant for a Muslim to give property for religious and charitable purpose, to a non-Muslim giving a Waqf acting and implementing on a non-Muslim. And the point is, it is also the 2013 Act was against the principle of natural justice, because if imagine that if Waqf has taken a property X, then Waqf tribunal cannot be the sole adjudicator because it is an affected party. We are changing that. We are giving the powers. Let me complete. You spoke for 5 minutes of civil court, which was intended in the 1954 Act. Between 1954 to 1980s, there had been recommendations made during the time of Rajiv Gandhi also to make it more broad-based. We've taken consultations, Anandji, from, if I go on specifically on 13 July 2023, the representatives have come from the general public. From 21st July 2023, complaints had come from state Waqf boards themselves that please reform it. On 24th July 2023, the officials of state Waqf board and general public came and said that please make it more broad-based. So what we are doing is that in the past 1 year, whatever the individuals from Muslim community, from state Waqf board have told the government to please make it reform, make it more broad-based, we've done that. Now my question is, Anandji, what logic tells you that the Waqf property was roughly around 4 lakh acres in 2008-9. In just 4 years, it jumped to 8 lakh acres. And how a non-Muslim property was made Waqf property by the Congress party for appeasement purpose. And let me go forward with it. Let me go forward with it and tell you that what all properties were there. The Waqf board had claimed on Allahabad High Court, it was later dismissed, the Tamil Nadu, a 100-year-old temple was...
Not temple, the entire village.
The entire village. And let me tell you, 500 villages on the border of Madhya Pradesh were also said by Waqf that they belong to Waqf. So the point is that there cannot be a parallel judicial system. This country is run by the courts and there is a judicial system. So the aggrieved party has to apply and has to appeal to a judicial system, and we are making it more broad-based. The entire benefit will only go to the Muslims. So there is no benefit of the Waqf which will go to the non-Muslim community.
We're going to keep this a little short, so I'm just going to ask this own question. If the possible rent accruals out of 9 lakh acres of land is 1.2 lakh crore, that's the amount that could be got. And if that's not being used for the betterment of the Muslim community, because that's how it's supposed to be used, and the Muslim community wants doles after doles because their social upliftment and they're so far back in the social index. So has the Waqf actually done its job?
Anandji, just 10 seconds. Had the Waqf done its job, there would not have been a need of a Sachar committee which would have concluded that the social and economic situation of the Muslims were not proper. The Sachar committee concluded that the Waqf Act, the amendment of the Waqf Act was complete failure, and there is reform which is needed. So either you believe in Sachar or believe in Waqf. There cannot be this...
they believe in what they want to believe when it is convenient for them.
In this country, you have always had a parallel system. You have consumer forums. If your phone is not working, you can go to a consumer forum. No, hold on.
Please tell me which other religion has the ability.
Just hold on, sir.
Please tell me which other religion has it. What was the places of worship act?
Do you want? Are you in favor of all the temples in this country also to come under government control, just like the Waqf country is?
One second.
The temples are already by default are under government control. They should not be. Okay, we're digressing. All right, gentlemen, great fun. Great fun. Sorry.
Never able to.
We got a lot of ground to cover. It's a busy Friday edition, but great. Thank you very much, Vivek Srivastava and Pradeep Bhandari, in person, but fiery, but still respectful. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, gentlemen. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, Oh, we're not taking a break. What we're going to do is we're going to get a move on. Let's catch up and let's take you south of the Vindhyas into the state of Karnataka, where there's a lot of heat on the Karnataka government now because multiple allegations. Your guarantees are costing the normal people, the people of the state, the beneficiaries, the actual beneficiaries of social welfare schemes are now coming out and saying you are taking it out of what accrues to us just to satisfy and fulfill your guarantees. That's the allegation. MBBS students from OBC communities are against the Karnataka government. They're on a war path. Why? Students are alleging that they've been denied scholarships for 2 years. 2,000 of them waiting for scholarships. And they're saying, now we'll finish our medical studies and the government is not going to give that money to us. The government needs to reimburse around 60 to 80,000 rupees per student, and they're worried that the moment we finish our course, this government will say, course khatam ho gaya, sorry. You're not going to get this money. In fact, earlier in July, the state government declared that 39,121.46 crore was allocated for the SC/ST welfare, and that 37% of the SC/ST welfare fund was for guarantees. The BJP alleging that the government is swindling money meant for Dalits and OBCs for guarantees, as the guarantee amount does not benefit STs at all. Let's get into the face-off straight away. Surabhi Hodigere, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, and Sanket Yanagi also with us. My namaste and Jai Hind, both of you. Surabhi Hodigere, the government's position is we are giving these guarantees to these categories, and if you got to pay the fare for these guarantees, that's to come from their funds. So where is the problem?
The fallout between the Karnataka government and multiple sections of society with respect to any sort of welfare schemes is very telling of the fact that the Karnataka Congress, when they went into election, came up with these 5 guarantees as a sort of PR measure and have not figured out how they're going to fiscally be responsible, how they're going to ensure that the economy is taking care of all sections of society. Students today are protesting. Yesterday, it was a lot of people from the Dalit community who've been talking about the 37% that you mentioned, diversion of funds from the SCPTSB fund. And not just that, the allegations of corruption that the Congress government has been, facing, especially with the Valmiki Nigam Mandali scam, where a good amount of money, 187 crore is under question, and the Chief Minister himself has said 89 crores has gone to different states for through bank accounts, fake bank accounts. So there is a whole bunch of things happening here in Karnataka, and the end sort of person who's being denied of their welfare, denied of their support from the state are the vulnerable sections of society, are the Dalits, are the STs, are the students, as we are seeing here today. And also, might I mention to you, the Gruha Lakshmi guarantee that the Congress has been harping about so much on the women getting 2,000 rupees every month. That has not been given for the last 2 months. Every day I keep a watch on the minister. Srimati Lakshmi Hebbalkar keeps saying it'll come tomorrow, it'll come tomorrow, it'll come tomorrow. What they did before the election was release 3 months together. There is loud and widespread protest against the fact that money has not gotten either in the guarantee schemes or that money is being diverted to fund the guarantee schemes. So really, where is the money going? Where is the money going? And the unfortunate thing is that when we see a Valmiki Nigam Mandali scam, the money has gone to Telangana elections. So what is happening in Karnataka is both corruption, is inefficiency, fiscal imprudence, absolute lack of good administration. And that's why we're on the streets. I've been walking for the last 8 days in the Mysore Chalo Padayatra. We are standing strong against the Congress government and all their antics.
Sanket Yanagi?
First of all, let us admit the fact that guarantee scheme requires a heavy funding from the government, in which event, for any government, whether it is BJP or BJP-led government or the Congress-led government, it requires a lot of funding and fund management also. In which reason, there are certain pros and cons which may affect other sides of the developmental activities too. But one should not override the fact that it is a welfare measure and it is helping section of the society. Is it the case of the BJP that they don't want the guarantees to be implemented and the poor people should die? Is it their version? Or is it their case that bus pass should not be given to the poor or to the woman? Or is it their case that no free electricity should be provided or beneficiaries should not be provided any benefit under the guarantee scheme? In one way, the BJP also as an opposition says that these are anti-people. In other way, They are not clearly saying that these people who are getting benefited are useless. Are they undermining the fact that the people who are getting also the benefits are the poor people or the people who are entitled to being the citizens of the country? Maybe BJP is concentrating only on the rich people or the rich class. But as a welfare state, as a Ram Raja, one has to see not only the rich but also all who are deprived of the major benefits or the benefits which they are entitled to in a day-to-day life. So just helping the rich is not the culture of some political parties. It is not a constitutional culture. It is not a Ram Raja. A person believing Rama should also believe in Ram Raja is my perspective. And the one who believes in treating everyone equal will not say such things, will not abuse the government for helping people, or will not issuing the guarantee measures and all. There may be some hurdles. I'm not saying it's not been smoothly going on for deficit of the fund. Maybe there are certain hiccups. But one thing one must appreciate, when Ram Raja is being implemented, one has to wholeheartedly accept it. And one has to wholeheartedly support, rather than pulling their legs all the time. Making allegations against the poor for having the benefit from the government may not be an appropriate point, is what I can say at this point.
Sir,
Yes.
Sanket Yanagi, I've got great respect for you. I always enjoy when you're on the panel because you make some very, sane arguments and well thought out arguments. But today somehow I felt you're not convinced about your own argument. As an advocate, you know very well that when you stand up to plead the case, you have to be convinced about your own argument. Here, sir, this is not Ram Rajya, this is Ram Rajya. You're ramming into the hopes and dashing the hopes of the people who did it. You're taking broken pieces of bread from one's plate and giving it to another person and say, till this time they were starving, now you starve and I'll give you. And then by the time they pick up that roti and that bread or that piece, you say, sorry, wait, I got to take it from you and I got to do. Because you made promises without having one naya paisa in your pocket. How can you make a guarantee when you don't have one naya paisa in your pocket and you tell the people, sorry, I got to take it from you only and I've got to give it to somebody else only and I'm going to take it from you and I'm going to give it to somebody else. You know this logic. No political party should be doing that, sir. But you have made
the same way Nirmala Sitharaman manages the fund and accounts.
Sir,
and the
in our country, what happens is those who pay taxes get taxed. See, that's a different story altogether.
They do not. People
Sir,
will
you have
not
to increase the
where money is
earnings.
lost.
You have to increase the earnings. To the credit of this government, indirect taxes today almost are the same. Indirect tax collections are almost the same as direct taxes collection. If you look at the entire pie, share of the pie, they have grown the share of indirect taxes, while they've also increased the tax net. But the middle class ends up paying either ways. If I buy something, I pay. If I earn something, I pay. If I sell something, I pay. That's the middle class. That's a different argument altogether. But as a state, and especially when you espouse Ram Rajya, then you should not be badgering the poor like this. That's my humble submission. But Surabhi Hodigere, when you make a guarantee, you have to fund for it. And if they are using the funds and there are some teething issues, why create such a hue and cry about it? That's what Mr. Yanagi is asking.
I've been hearing people from the Congress and the larger ecosystem accuse the BJP of being anti-poor because we say that the guarantees are not being implemented properly. I'm really astonished because the people who are speaking up against the mismanagement of funds, speaking up against money going from ST welfare fund to elsewhere are the most marginalized of people. We are speaking up for the poor, we are speaking up for the marginalized. The question here is not whether the welfare state should exist or not. India as a whole is probably the largest welfare state known in the last 70 years. We've had to ensure that welfare schemes have been put in place in order for them to benefit a certain section of our population. However, here's the difference, Sanket sir. The difference is that before announcing Suryodaya Ghar Bijli Yojana, there is an incentive saying that we will give you X amount of electricity free so that you install a solar rooftop, and that will sort of help us with both initiatives. The Karnataka Congress government is doing the opposite. They are saying that we will not have any sort of targeted welfare measures. We will ensure that everybody is given money. Everybody who will, by the way, given money, say for the Griha Lakshmi scheme, 3 months of money given just before the election. It's something fishy over here. Are you doing this merely for electoral politics? The Shakti scheme causing a revenue deficit for the transport commissions. The fact that there is a CAG report that came out just yesterday, day before, which shows very clearly that the Karnataka government is going towards bankruptcy in its discoms. The BJP believes in welfareism, but also is prudent enough, smart enough to manage fiscally to ensure that these welfare measures are given properly. The Karnataka government has stopped the Kisan Sanman Yojana, 4,000 rupees going to farmers. That is the Karnataka government. They have stopped this welfare measure that is, the right of every Indian. This is the sort of government we're seeing here in Karnataka, and I will not take these allegations of anti-poor lying down. I'm very sorry. If that were true, sir, you know how many scholarships from the ST community have gone missing because the government here has swindled off 89 crores to the Telangana elections? Just in March, those transfers happened to fake bank accounts. Please tell me, I request you to answer this question. If you're so confident about the welfare measures, if you're so confident about the guarantee scheme, why is it that the women are protesting today? Why is it that DK Shivkumar, the Deputy Chief Minister, is having to answer in a rally saying that no, we'll give you? Where is the fiscal prudence and where is this stop to corruption? That is our bigger fear, sir. If money from Karnataka is going to Telangana for elections tomorrow, are we going to be funding all of Congress's campaigns? Is that what's going to happen? That's why we have.
Let him answer, please. Let him answer.
If BJP has done or worked exceptionally well in the previous term, there was no reason for the people of Karnataka to boost them out with two-digit number. The way BJP has suffered itself is a testimony to the fact that how BJP has performed. I don't have to explain anything more. All the questions posed by the co-panelist has been already answered by the people in 2023 itself, and which I do not have to further answer.
The Congress in the center then.
Number two, like BJP says that it is an election jumla in 15 lakhs and other cases. The Congress has not said at any point, though I'm not a congressman now, but I would only say BJP might have said so many things, might not have implemented it, but ultimately they ended up accepting the fact that it's an election jumla. But that is not the case with the Congress. At least they are trying to implement it. They have promised, and the promise was accepted by the people. People voted them, and they on the belief that they will implement the guarantees, and they have implemented guarantees. Somehow they are managing. That's a different issue. But they are keeping up their words, promises. That's important. What matters in a society is the promise and fulfillment of that promise. That's the electoral politics, no doubt about it. Everyone is playing around the politics. But at the end of the day, what matters to the common man is whether the promises have been fulfilled. Yes, right. There is an answer.
Sir, as you go round and round, I just want to show you an Indian Express report from yesterday, which says that only 3% of Congress manifesto promises fulfilled as of now. It's been 16 months. Don't worry, sir. We're a strong opposition here in Karnataka, BJP. We will ensure that you implement 100% of your promises. If that's
I think from a voter's point of view, next time around, voters have also got to answer this question that when you promise me something, where are you going to get the money from? And that's when if they say, oh, we're going to pick it out from your right pocket and try and put it into your left pocket, but if a few rupees fall by the wayside, don't miss it. You may get lesser than what you're actually getting. That's not right politics for the people, and that's not right amount of welfareism. Welfareism is from Ram Rajya, sir. The Raja has to first fill up the coffers so that he can do welfare. So that's the principle of Ram Rajya. Anyway, thank you very, very much, Sanket Yanagi and Surabhi Hodgere. Thank you very much. We're going to take a very, very short break. The update on the Court of Arbitration for Sport hearing. We get you the India side of the argument around Vinesh Phogat when we come back. Stay with us.
भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाल तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है। माई भाई अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
केवाईसी कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
I wanted to understand that Manish Sisodia has been behind bars in cases which were being investigated by both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate for alleged corruption and money laundering. Then why didn't a trial begin against him? What kind of evidence was put forth by both these agencies to the court while he was in jail?
Well, yes, there are many crucial evidences that both these agencies have been able to capture in this entire matter. Initially, this matter was registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, where they had gone ahead and arrested Manish Sisodia. Now, the allegation against Manish Sisodia that was put forth from the side of the Central Bureau of Investigation, that he was the then excise minister, and it was under his guidance that this entire policy was initially framed and then implemented in such a way so that the alleged South lobby could be benefited in some way or the other, and then in turn...
Yes, Anshul, just kindly stay on with me. I'll just come back to you. Excuse me for interrupting you. I have with me Ravi Srivastava, who is a political analyst. Ravi, thanks so much for speaking to us. It's a significant development. We've just got a news that the Supreme Court has finally granted relief and bail to Manish Sisodia. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a big news. It's a big news for Aam Aadmi Party, with all the sagging morale and all kind of disappointment, frustration happening to them. I think it's a very good news for Aam Aadmi Party, and they have got their strength back with this bail. And there are certain questions arising out of this bail. The Honorable Supreme Court has said that the bail is a rule and the jail is an exception. And other courts have not followed this principle for 17 months. I mean, I don't understand any reason for this. They did not have any evidence. They do not have any evidence. I repeat it. They do not have any evidence. Just by taking adjournments and deferring and taking time for filing reply.
But he was being investigated by both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate for alleged corruption and money laundering. One wonders, why didn't a trial begin? Where was all the evidence?
Absolutely, I agree with you. The trial should have begun at least a year before. For no reason it was held up. The trial should have begun a year before. Probably he would have got the bail much earlier, because this is the issue. The trial was deliberately delayed for such a long time just by having this kind of practices by the ED and the CBI, taking adjournments, and because the fact is that they are working under the influence of the central government and they do not have any tangible evidence against Manish Sisodia.
No, so are you suggesting that there was a deliberate attempt to deprive him of his right to a speedy trial?
Absolutely, I say it in case of Hemant Soren also, I say it in case of Arvind Kejriwal also. These are all deliberate, purposeful attempts to crush a party which is the third biggest party in the whole country, and the way they have penalized, I would say this is the punishment. This whole 17 months is a punishment for no trial, and not having any evidence, not having any incontrovertible reason for that. They did not recover a single naya paisa from his residence, no property, no gold, nothing. And the family has suffered the torture. He suffered the torture in the Tihar jail. I mean, this is something unpardonable.
But the Supreme Court did say that there was, there were voluminous documents. And the fact is that his bail plea was rejected multiple times. So perhaps there was evidence against him to prove the charge.
No, before trial, evidences are only of the prima facie level.
Okay.
There are unless the trial, then the trial takes place. Once the trial takes place, then the value of the evidence comes out. I mean, you can say this fellow has given a statement against you, this person has given a statement against you.
Back on with the news and an update on Bharat's argument, what's being kept at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The hearing is still underway there. The details are with us here at CNN News 18. We've accessed these details. The contingent has now argued that the increase in weight for Vinesh Phogat was natural. It was due to a natural recovery mechanism, and that there was no artificial weight gain. The weight gain is not artificial, and Vinesh had every right, a fundamental right, to replenish her body and look after her body. Ananya Bhatnagar with us. Yes, Ananya.
Well, definitely, these are the arguments that the Indian contingent has. The clear argument being that, the weight gain that Vinesh Phogat had was not something that was due to something artificial. It was just the natural recovery process of the body that was there. Not only that, it's also been argued that no fraud has been committed on the part of the Indian contingent by, Vinesh Phogat. And, hence this disqualification should not be given. Because, Vinesh Phogat had, won earlier bouts, and only in the last match he had, only 100 grams was something that was increased, and that is exactly why the Indian contingent argues that this is not an artificial weight gain that has happened. It's basically a normal recovery process of the body that is in fact why the weight has increased, and hence a silver medal, a joint silver medal, is something that Vinesh Phogat deserves.
Right. This is something that Dr. Pardiwala had also mentioned, that she did have a rebound weight gain, and he's mentioned it constantly, even in that bulletin and an update that he gave soon after her disqualification came to the fore, and he was sitting with the IOA President PT Usha. That similar argument made with the CAS also. On that note, we're winding up this edition of The Right Stand. Brass Tacks follows.
Co-powered by
माई भाई, मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाले। तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है?
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
I wanted to understand that Manish Sisodia has been behind bars in cases which were being investigated by both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate for alleged corruption and money laundering. Then why didn't a trial begin against him? What kind of evidence was put forth by both these agencies to the court while he was in jail?
Well, yes, there are many crucial evidences that both these agencies have been able to capture in this entire matter. Initially, this matter was registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, where they had gone ahead and arrested Manish Sisodia. Now, the allegation against Manish Sisodia that was put forth from the side of the Central Bureau of Investigation, that he was the then excise minister, and it was under his guidance that this entire policy was initially framed and then implemented in such a way so that the alleged South lobby could be benefited in some way or the other, and then in turn
yes, Anshul, just kindly stay on with me. I'll just come back to you. Excuse me for interrupting you. I have with me Ravi Srivastava, who is a political analyst. Ravi, thanks so much for speaking to us. It's a significant development. We've just got a news that the Supreme Court has finally granted relief and bail to Manish Sisodia. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a big news. It's a big news for Aam Aadmi Party, with all the sagging morale and all kind of disappointment, frustration happening to them. I think it's a very good news for Aam Aadmi Party, and they have got their strength back with this bail. And there are certain questions arising out of this bail. The Honorable Supreme Court has said that the bail is a rule and the jail is an exception. And other courts have not followed this principle for 17 months. I mean, I don't understand any reason for this. They did not have any evidence. They do not have any evidence. I repeat it. They do not have any evidence. Just by taking adjournments and deferring and taking time for filing reply.
But he was being investigated by both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate for alleged corruption and money laundering. One wonders, why didn't a trial begin? Where was all the evidence?
Absolutely, I agree with you. The trial should have begun at least a year before. For no reason it was held up. The trial should have begun a year before. Probably he would have got the bail much earlier, because this is the issue. The trial was deliberately delayed for such a long time just by having this kind of practices by the ED and the CBI taking adjournments, and because the fact is that they are working under the influence of the central government and they do not have any tangible evidence against Manish Sisodia.
No,
They
so are you
raided him several times.
suggesting that there was a deliberate attempt to deprive him of his right to a speedy trial?
Absolutely, I say it in case of Hemant Soren also, I say it in case of Arvind Kejriwal also. These are all deliberate, purposeful attempts to crush a party which is the third biggest party in the whole country, and the way they have penalized, I would say this is the punishment. This whole 17 months is a punishment for no trial. And not having any evidence, not having any incontrovertible reason for that. They did not recover a single naya paisa from his residence, no property.
CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Good evening. Welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. Delhi's former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia was granted bail today by the Supreme Court. The court came down heavily on the investigating agency, the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the appellant has been deprived of his right to speedy trial and that having a time-bound trial and the right to life and liberty are sacrosanct. The BJP says that Sisodia has only been given bail and that by no means is this a clean chit or any acquittal of any form. The question is, have the cases against opposition